The room didn't go quiet because someone stopped talking. It went quiet because she didn't. 10 seconds. That's how long she stared at the floor instead of answering me. 10 seconds where everyone waited. 10 seconds where I realized I was already alone. 10 seconds that destroyed everything we were pretending to protect. My name is Daniel. I was 41 at the time. I worked as a project manager for a commercial construction firm in Raleigh, the kind of job where deadlines matter and mistakes are expensive. My wife and I had been married for 11 years. Together for 14. Long enough that people thought we were solid. Long enough that silence had become normal. The night it happened wasn't dramatic on the surface. No shouting. No chaos. Just a small gathering at a friend's house after a charity event. Couples scattered around the living room, drinks in hand, conversations overlapping. Familiar faces. Comfortable routines. Until the question landed. Someone joked about work relationships. About office crushes that go too far. It was said lightly, without malice. A laugh followed. Then another voice asked, half curious, half amused, "So, could you ever forgive cheating?" People laughed again. A few shrugged. Some gave confident answers. Then someone looked at my wife. "What about you?" I turned toward her without thinking. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't suspicious. I expected a quick answer. A joke. A dismissal. Instead, she froze. Her glass hovered inches from her lips. Her eyes dropped. Not embarrassed. Calculating. The room waited. I smiled, still unaware. "Well," I said softly, trying to help her out. She didn't look at me. 1 second. 2. 3. The air changed. By the 5th second, people started shifting in their seats. Someone cleared their throat. A laugh died halfway out of someone's mouth. At 10 seconds, she finally spoke. "I don't know," she said. "That's complicated." And that was it. No defense. No reassurance. No instinct to protect us. Just silence first. Then a sentence that felt like an exit ramp. No one said anything after that. Conversations restarted awkwardly. Music was turned up. The moment was buried under politeness. But it was over. I knew it then. The drive home was quiet. Not the tense kind. The resigned kind. Streetlights passed over her face, revealing nothing new. I didn't ask questions. I didn't accuse. I didn't need to. At home, she set her purse down carefully, like everything was still fragile and worth saving. "You're quiet," she said. "I heard everything I needed to," I replied. She sighed, already tired. "You're overthinking." "I asked you a simple question," I said. "And you couldn't answer it." She turned away. "I didn't want to make a scene." "You already did," I said. "You just made it clear who you didn't want to defend." That's when the truth started leaking out. Not all at once. Not dramatically. In pieces. Through avoidance. Through deflection. Through that same silence. The months leading up to that night suddenly made sense. Late evenings explained as work emergencies. Her phone angled away from me on the couch. Her laughter reserved for messages I wasn't part of. Intimacy reduced to routine. Obligation. Something to check off. I'd noticed it. I just hadn't named it. The confrontation came 2 days later, at our kitchen table. No raised voices. No slammed doors. "I need you to be honest," I said. "Is there someone else?" She stared at the wood grain like it held the answer. "I didn't plan for it to happen," she said. I nodded. "That's not what I asked." She swallowed. "Yes." There it was. Not devastating, because it was loud. Devastating, because it was inevitable. "Who?" I asked. She told me. Someone from work. Not a boss. Not a stranger. Someone she'd spent hours with while I assumed we were just tired. "How long?" I asked. She hesitated again. That pause hurt more than the answer. "Almost a year," she said. I didn't react the way she expected. No yelling. No threats. Just a dull pressure behind my eyes. "What was the silence about?" I asked. "At the party." She shrugged. "I didn't want to lie." "And you didn't want to tell the truth," I said. So you let silence do it for you. She didn't argue. That was the turning point. Not the cheating. Not the confession. The realization that when it mattered most, she chose self-preservation over us. I stopped asking questions after that. Stopped trying to understand. Stopped chasing explanations that wouldn't restore my dignity. I slept in the guest room. Then on the couch. Then, eventually, in a small furnished apartment near my job. She cried when I packed a bag. Not because she'd lost me, but because things were finally changing. I didn't think it would end like this, she said. It ended a year ago, I replied. I just found out. The separation was quiet. Civil, no social media posts. No dramatic announcements. Just paperwork and distance. She tried to keep me emotionally close while physically moving on. Called to talk. To reminisce. To complain about how hard things were. I stopped answering. That was my revenge, not cruelty, not exposure. Withdrawal. When you stop providing emotional shelter to someone who betrayed you, the imbalance becomes obvious. She reached out less. Then not at all. The divorce finalized 8 months later. We split things fairly. No courtroom battles. No surprises. The only thing she kept asking was whether I hated her. I don't, I said honestly. But I don't make space for people who let me disappear. That truth seemed to hurt her more than anger would have. Life didn't transform overnight. I didn't suddenly feel healed. I felt quieter, more present, less willing to ignore discomfort. I went back to the gym. I cooked for myself. I relearned how to enjoy evenings without waiting for someone who wasn't coming home emotionally. Sometimes I replay that moment at the party. The silence. The waiting. The way everything became clear, without a single accusation. And I'm grateful. Because silence is information. If someone can't defend you when it costs them nothing, they won't protect you when it costs them everything. That's the lesson I carry now. Love isn't proven by words spoken in comfort. It's proven by instinctive loyalty when the room is watching. 10 seconds told me what 11 years didn't. And I listened. That's how I got my life back, not by demanding truth, but by accepting the silence for what it was. A confession. And an ending.